Good morning and howdy from the Mile High City, which is Denver, but I think it's trying to battle Chicago today for the title of Windy City. I will try to hold the microphone close. Maybe if I put it up here would be better. Hopefully you're not getting clobbered by the wind, but I have arrived today at what you can see is the Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. Let me turn around just a little bit and you can see the snow-capped Rockies in the background. Let me see, where's the snow-cap? It's hard to tell when I'm looking at the lens backwards, but I'm really along the range here. And I'll spin back around. You can see the gateway to this arsenal. And I'll go completely around. Then I'm going to turn the camera around and read the signs over there to you, because there are quite a few of them. I'll just go the whole way around. That's the Jeep Cherokee that my homeowner of the house sit is letting me use for the week they are out of town, or really about 10 days. I didn't need it for the conference I just completed because a friend of mine was attending and she just let me use her Jeep to go back and forth, which I thought was, both people have been extremely gracious. You can see the wind blowing my hood and all. I'm not going to put it up, and hopefully you don't hear it too bad. This is well, let me read the sign. I may get the numbers wrong. Hopefully there's a little bit less wind here in this shelter. As I mentioned earlier, I'm at a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge here in Denver, Colorado. I was hoping it would say how large it is here. I read it somewhere. Oh, there's some maps down there. Maybe I can take one of those with me. But what I'm planning to do today, here's the map, is I guess I'm here. I'm going to do this 11-mile loop. Well, I didn't get that in the picture very well. This 11-mile driving loop, where supposedly this section here is one way, and you have a very good chance of seeing bison in their natural habitat. Then I was hoping to do hike number 10 here, which is the Lake Mary loop. That is 6/10 of a mile, and apparently it has some boardwalks over Lake Mary. Oh, here's a picture that I saw online of the boardwalk over the lake. So that's the walk I'm hoping to do. But oh, here we go. 15,000 acre. Next paragraph down. 15,000 acre expanse of short and mixed grass, prairie, woodlands, and lakes that provide essential habitat for a variety of wildlife. Blah, blah, blah. More than 330 species of wildlife, including bald eagles. I would like to see one of those in the wild. I haven't seen that other than in Alaska and in Virginia. Oh, I did see one in West Virginia. But out here would be, I didn't expect them to be this far from the ocean. Bison, black-footed ferrets, which they're apparently endangered. There's a little note about them. Deer, coyotes, I can live without seeing one of those, especially at a distance. I'll be okay to see it. Burrowing owls, songbirds, and prairie dogs call the refuge home. This refuge is one of more than 565 national wildlife refuges that protect and manage over 150 million acres within all 50 states and U.S. territories. Yes, one of our Virginia state parks is on the south side of False Cape National Wildlife Refuge, and I had the pleasure of having to go through that to get to the park a couple of times. Trying to see what these birds are. Doesn't really tell me. I wonder if that's the burrowing owl. Kind of looks like an owl, and it looks like it's on the ground, so maybe. Doesn't really tell you. And then, of course, here's pictures of bison. I hope to get some of those myself. And here's, again, the black-footed ferret and the bison entering the corral during an annual roundup. And there's a controlled burn fire, school groups, and then why are they carrying a tree? I really don't know. But anyway, it seems a bit odd to me. I will get in the car now. I don't have my car, so I don't have a clamp in the windshield, so I'll probably be stopping and doing some video. But the refuge is open sunrise to sunset daily, except for Thanksgiving, closes early Christmas Eve and closed Christmas Day. Same thing at New Year's Eve. I'll be back with you in just a moment. I've been very fortunate today. Once I entered the bison area, I have seen a large amount of them. Of course, you're not allowed to get out of the car, but there's one that just crossed the road. A guy in a Porsche was sitting what I considered too close. I didn't want him to irritate it. But then there's 1, 2, 3, I think 6 more, about 3 over by the tree line, and then 3 there, and I just had passed an area about 8. I took a bunch of pictures. I thought, as I drove away, why didn't I make part of the video for that? So here are a few bison. Let me zoom in some. These are wild animals. Of course, you're not supposed to get out of the car, so I've already said a prayer that none of them get mad at me and come and attack the car. But let me just show you a little more. I'll zoom it back out and show you a little more of the prairie that you can see there's lots of piles of bison poop. But we're also not very far from the airport. You can see that plane going up right there. This is really a treasure to be this close into a major U.S. city. As I was driving down the wildlife loop, I looked to the right, and there is the Gaylord Rockies Convention Center that I have been at for the last 3 days. I didn't realize that the wildlife preserve was directly, I guess, behind the hotel. We were actually looking over it as we looked up to the mountains. I'll spin around. My apologies that it's through the glass and inside the car, but see, that is the view. Those mountains over there is the view I was posting on Facebook and Instagram when I was looking out the convention center right there. So it is very, very close to a populated area and lots of bison. I hope to find some ferrets. Well, I think the ferrets are behind the visitor center and I didn't go up there yet. But I'll be filming more as I go along. This location is just barely ahead of where I pulled off to take the photo and video of the Gaylord. Then I looked to the, well, actually pulled to the right to let somebody pass me. There are very few cars out here. This is a perfect time to come, but let me zoom in here. You can see these, I haven't even counted. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 6, and maybe one lying down. So 6 or 7 bison, but look, oops, sorry. I'm not holding it very well. Look directly behind them and you will see the skyscrapers of downtown Denver and then the range of the Rocky Mountains, and a little bit to the right there you can see the snow-capped peaks, which I hope to get to maybe next weekend. We're supposed to get a little more snow. There's a Rocky Mountain National Park up there somewhere. It's about a 2-hour drive, so I chose the closer one today, this wildlife refuge, and I'm very glad that I did. I heard a lot of people say that you have to get here on the right day when the bison, you know, when the weather and their temperament is all perfect to see them. So I'm so glad I came today when they are actually out near the road, so they're easy to see. Some of them very near the road, almost too close for comfort. But I'm not scared of them. I'm not irritating them. I hope nobody else out here today does. And maybe that's a good thing that there's very few cars out here. There's a prairie dog right on that hill. Unfortunately, my lavalier just fell down. I was saying my lavalier came unclipped and fell down. Of course, the prairie dog is gone now. It fell down between the seats and the wind cover came. Oh, there he is. His little head sticking up. Let me see if I can zoom in a little more. Don't think you can see him. Fortunately, they designed this well, and it's a 1-lane road, so I can stop here, and if anybody else comes, they'd only be coming from behind and then go around. You really can't see it, but I guess all these mounds are prairie dog hills. You can see there's a housing development or something over on the other side of this. And I'm not allowed to get out here and dig under the seat because I do believe I have exited the buffalo area, so I might be able to get out here, but I'm not going to risk it. Fortunately, I'm inside, so you shouldn't need the windscreen. I turned right onto what's called a staff road. I car and park. But I just had to get I only came up to the first little turnaround, which is right behind the sign. But I just had to get this view of the range without the windshield in it. As we were driving down beside those telephone poles and the electric lines, and it's just a gorgeous view as I drive down the road, so I wanted to take a second here to stop. I did see another groundhog, or I guess prairie dog is what they're called out here. But those two cars were stopped, so I just went around them, and now they get ahead of me. But this is just a gorgeous view of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. I haven't really gotten a good enough look at these yet to tell what they are, but I believe it's just a herd of deer. It looks like the buck might be at the back. I see some horns now that he's picked his head up. Let me see if I can zoom in any closer. I'm not sure what kind of deer, but probably something in the deer family. Anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and then maybe that might be something else. I can't tell. But anyway, a type of wildlife I hadn't seen yet to this point. I have come back through the bison area. Only saw about 4 that were a good ways off. I have also gotten back into a two-way road, so I probably shouldn't have pulled to this side of it, but that's all right. I'll get some pictures on my still camera. Then we'll head on back to the visitor center, and I'll get some of the endangered ferrets in their natural area. Can't quite get the video to stop. I was getting ready to get back on the road, but there were several cars coming by, so I figured I'd just film a little more. These actually look like they have the kind of a white circle on their haunches, even though I can't see the rear end too well. But I think I saw some on the road, or I had to drive pretty much parallel to the refuge to get into the entrance, and I could have sworn that they have like a half circle or 3/4 circle of white fur on their rear end, so they're not exactly white-tailed deer, but I don't know what they are. I'll have to look it up when I get to the visitor center. I don't know enough about western wildlife to tell you. As I drove a little further, whatever they are, there's one right here close to the road I can get a pretty good view of. Still can't see the rear, but it doesn't have a tail that shoots up like a white-tailed deer that I'm used to. He looks like he wants to come visit, or she, I should say. Maybe if I go a little bit further, I can see the rear end. That's how you tell most deer. Yeah, it does have a white hind quarter. I'm gonna let this car pass. I have made it back to the visitor center, which I knew was closed on Mondays and Tuesdays when I decided to come out, but I'm looking for the black-faced ferret exhibit, and I found the bird and butterfly garden, which doesn't look like it's doing much good in the wintertime, but I guess it's all planned. Here's a sign that says ferret exhibit, and here's some of the prairie butterflies that I guess you see in the springtime. So we'll go to the ferret exhibit and see if we can see any endangered black-faced ferrets. Wonder if it's under this observation tower. Maybe so. Looks like there's a cage down here. I was going to do a loop walk, but since the wind guard blew off, or fell off, I should say, in the car when the lavalier fell down between the seats, and it's black, spongy stuff, and everything in the car is black carpeting and black seats. I have not been able to find it yet, so I don't think I'm going to do the walk, even though the wind seems to have died down. Oh, we get to go inside to see it. Well, that's good. Oh, it's only open Wednesday to Sunday. The outdoor exhibit is open, so let me see if I can see it from outside. I guess with no staff here, they don't want people in there. And it doesn't look like any of them are outside unless they're in the holes. The reason I came today instead of Wednesday is Wednesday is either supposed to be snowing or rainy, so not a great day to be exploring a wildlife refuge. But I'll give you one more zoom look around. There's the mountain range again. Oh, and that wind, maybe I'll hide it under my coat. It's not quite as bad, but I don't want to blow your ears out. But this has been a very fun ride, or drive, I should say. They say it takes 45 minutes to an hour. I don't really know what time I started, but I think it has been about an hour. And I did see lots of interesting wildlife, but no ferrets today. Let's see, this looks like an amphitheater, maybe. Yeah, they probably have stuff here in the summertime, at least when it's comfortable out. Sorry, I keep dropping the camera down to where you're looking at something I don't want. Not the intended subject. But I think I'm going to sign off for now. Be sure to subscribe and like and comment if you haven't already. I should have said that earlier. Anyway, this will probably take 2 or 3 days to get posted, so I've got at least 2 more train videos that are splicing and uploading to go up before this one does. And then I didn't do much at the convention, but I'll get it up somewhere. Thanks.